Hi, it's Chef Mike with Tupperware, and today I'm going to make a Mediterranean shrimp with green beans and a roasted red pepper sauce and pasta. And that pepper sauce is really good because it's got feta cheese, so you know I like that. And I'm going to use our 4-in-1 multi-cooker. The multi-cooker is great because you can use it for cooking grains, pasta, you can use it as a steamer, or in today's case, we're going to use it to cook an entire meal all in the same container. So let's get started. In the base, today I'm going to use rotini pasta, but you can use whatever you like. You could use bow tie, butterfly, whatever you want to call them. You could use penne, you could use elbow macaroni. I just like the rotini because they have more little grooves to hold that good sauce. So I'm going to add the dry pasta, and you should always salt your pasta before you cook it, so I'm adding some salt. And I'm going to add about 1.5 to 2 cups of water. Exactly right. All right, so now I'm going to take the shielded colander. The reason it's shielded is this actually has a metal core, and that's important. Number one, it's coated in plastic, so it's not going to cause any problem in the microwave, but that metal prevents the microwaves from nuking the food. So the food is truly going to be cooked with steam only. Adding that, and then I've got some washed and trimmed green beans, which I'm going to add right into the shielded colander. And I need a little more flavor, so I'm going to add some chopped onion. So in my Power Chef, I'm going to add my onion. And chop it up. And if you get a piece that isn't quite chopped enough, just give it a quick shake and then a couple more pulls and you'll be done. So yes, there's my onion, nicely chopped. I'm going to add that right to my green beans. That may have been a little bit too big of an onion. I'm not going to use quite all of that. My kitchen, my rules. I forgot my spatula, but I've got it now. So I'm just going to give the beans and onion a little bit of a stir. Stir things up a little bit. And because these are fresh green beans, they do take a little bit longer to cook, certainly than the shrimp. So I'm going to sort of pre-cook them with the pasta. I'm going to place the cover on top, put it in the microwave for 8 minutes, and then we'll come back to the shrimp. Okay, our beans and pasta have had their pre-cooking. And we'll take a look. And of course the beans are not completely done yet, but I knew that. But the shrimp takes much less time to cook, so I wanted to give the beans a head start. The pasta, it's coming along nicely. So now all I'm going to do is take some beautiful wild-caught jumbo shrimp that I've peeled and deveined. If you wanted to use frozen peeled and deveined shrimp, you can. You can actually use them frozen or thaw them first, that's up to you. But I'm a shrimp snob and I like my good fresh shrimp, so it's worth the trouble. So I'm simply going to add my shrimp to the shallow colander and just spread them out evenly because I want to be able to have the top closed completely, which it does. Now back in the microwave for 4 minutes and pretty soon we're going to have dinner. I've got to make that red pepper sauce next. Okay, now it's time to make that roasted red pepper and feta sauce to go with our shrimp and green beans and rotini pasta. Really, really simple because I'm just going to throw everything right into the Power Chef and let it do all the work. So I've got 2 roasted red bell peppers that I've cut up just a little bit. And then I've got about 3 to 4 tablespoons of feta cheese. You know there's going to be more later. Dump that right in. Then I've got about a tablespoon of tomato paste. A teaspoon of kosher salt or flake salt. And I didn't quite all that tomato paste out of there. I want all of it. 3 cloves of garlic, peeled and end trimmed. about tablespoon of white vinegar. Again, if you don't have white vinegar, you could use cider vinegar. About a half to 3/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. A half cup of heavy cream. And about a teaspoon of dried oregano. And as I mentioned to you before, whenever you're using dry herbs, always crush them between your fingers first. It releases so much more flavor. I promise you, you will know the difference. All right, now we're just gonna stir things up. And there we go. Now this actually does need to, it's not really cooked, but it needs to warm. And as if on cue, our shrimp and beans are finished. So now the microwave is going to be free for me to put my sauce in. It's going to be okay sitting there for just a minute without me attending to it. So I'm going to transfer all of my roasted red pepper sauce into a micro pitcher, because this is also a microwavable safe product. That smells good. I really can smell that oregano because I crushed it first. Okay. So I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to take out our shrimp and vegetables, and I want to just take a peek at the shrimp. Oh, perfect. They actually need about another minute. However, if I leave this covered, they're going to do what's known as carry over cook. There's still plenty of steam in there, so I'm going to let these rest for just a couple of minutes while the sauce is heating. If they're not quite done, then I'll put it back in for another minute, but we'll just wait and see. So now I take my sauce and put it in the microwave for 45 seconds. And after 45 seconds, I'm going to take it out, give it a stir, and put it back for 45 more seconds. So in that time, our shrimp should have carry over cooked enough to be done. But if not, we can always put them back. Our sauce has had its second 45-second cooking. I stirred it in between. Let's take a look. Ooh, that smells good. I'm going to give it a little stir just to make sure everything's well blended. And let that rest. Now take a look at our shrimp. In that little bit of resting time, they are now perfectly cooked. Not overcooked, not undercooked. They are perfect. So I'm going to take the shrimp, and I'm actually going to dump them right into the beans and onions because I need that shallow colander to drain my pasta. Let me drain the pasta. Okay, the pasta is perfectly cooked. I'm now going to add my shrimp and the beans and onions. That's what I love about this multi-cooker, is that I've got this amazing meal, everything fresh, I know what's in it, less than 15 minutes. So now all I have to do is chop up a little bit of parsley, because we have to make it pretty, and also that does add kind of a splash of flavor. I'm actually going to chop this somewhat coarsely. I don't want it super fine because I want to be able to get that fresh hit of parsley, that nice herbal blast. A little bit more. There we go. So I'm going to add some of this parsley now, and then I'll add some more in a moment. Now I'm going to take my roasted red pepper sauce and add that. Now I'm going to toss everything together. Make sure that pasta gets completely coated with this fantastic sauce, making a little mess because it's splashy. Okay. The pasta is now coated the shrimp, the beans. Now all I've got to do is plate this up. So I'm going to grab a serving plate. I'm going to use some tongs this time. Get some of the beans and the pasta. Of course, get some of these beautiful shrimp. Add one more just for flourish. Now, it wouldn't be me if there weren't extra cheese. So I've got some extra feta, and I'm just going to crumble some directly on top as a pretty garnish. And then I'm going to finish with just a little bit of extra parsley. So there you've got it. Mediterranean shrimp, green beans, and rotini pasta in roasted red pepper and feta sauce. 15 minutes, fresh, healthy, other than the heavy cream, low fat, and delicious.